everyone, Chocolate here, but not for a video review. This time it's for a tier list. Yes, so what is a tier list? Well, we'll go into that. Well, first of all, thanks so much for Alan Lockhart for suggesting this, really. He said he'd seen a few of these videos on other sites, and I must admit I have as well, and he said he enjoyed them, and I thought, yeah, they are quite good fun, really, so why not do one myself? Various subjects I could have done. You probably already gathered what I've chosen in this case, but there's things like biscuits, stuff like what are the best biscuits, things like I did consider. I think it's already been done actually as it happens, but I had seen ones not by myself, but you know. But I thought, well, what's something that's quite controversial? People always talk about, you know, needs changing or don't like the changes to it or whatever. And chocolate selection, specifically things like roses, Cadbury's roses, and Quality Street, they're the sort of ones that I think are quite common to talk about. What's should be in there, what's ridiculous that things aren't in there now, or don't like this new one, things like that. So. So, of course, we could talk about ones that should be brought back, things like this, and there's loads of areas we could talk about, really. But what I've gone for is which ones, well, what's the current state of play, and what should we got rid of, what are good ones, what's the best ones, things like this. So, yeah, so there we go. Those who don't know, Cadbury's roses are Cadbury's sort of staple chocolate selection, really. So it's a selection of sort of, I would say bespoke, or not bespoke's the right word, but very unique chocolate selection that really exists anywhere else, apparently, anyway. Some of them over the years a bit dubious. I think there's one that generally does exist elsewhere, actually. We'll come to that in a bit, and where it's still in there, I don't know actually, but we'll come to that. Yeah, but generally, generally over the years that's changed a bit, but nowadays there's just that one, really. As I say, whether that's still in there or not, we'll talk about. And what do we do? Well, basically we drag and drop the images in the bottom of the screen. You'll see some images. We'll drag and drop them into the various levels on the tier. And we've got different ones here. You start off as sort of like a generic default S, A, B, C, and D. But I've changed them to basically at the very lowest, get it out, where we just don't want it in the selection anymore. It's a waste of time. Don't know why it's in there, basically. Needs improvement where it's okay, but needs to be better. Does the job, yeah, just, it's okay, it's fine. Wouldn't be rose without it. That sort of basically means, well, it's basically one of those chocolates that's a staple. It wouldn't be the selection if that wasn't in it. It wouldn't be the same. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best chocolate ever or anything, but it needs to be in the selection, really. And then we have a great choc, which is just basically, this is just great, it's really lovely. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean it wouldn't be roses without it, but it's really nice, and just, yeah, it's definitely has a place in the selection. But not necessarily means it's not, I don't think I'd want it removing if it's in the great chocolate part, but it doesn't mean that I think roses, would still live on without it technically, but it would need to have other great chocolates in there in order to not be made worse by its absence, basically. So so the top two ranks are a bit of a funny one, really, but I think they are merited to be there and different in their own right. Yeah, so okay, without further ado, I think we should get started. So the first one, this is just called Caramel. Imaginatively titled. So this one, well, basically it's changed past maybe 10 years ago. I think it changed actually, and used to be quite sort of very, very chewy in a square shape. It used to be the same. I don't think there is any square ones now, actually. Well, maybe the Strawberry Dream and orange tangy orange cream, whatever it's called, and more square ones now. But and the Brazilian Darkness was the one it was, which isn't in there anymore. It was the same shape as that, and it made it sort of a long, thin one, a bit like the fudge one, the country fudge. But it made it softer. It's not as chewy. It's just really soft. It used to be really nice chew. Lovely sort of chewy caramel. And it was a nice taste to it as well. Very different than all the others. I'll say very chewy. But now it's just so soft. It's hardly chewy. It's hardly anything. It's just not really as much point to it really anymore. It's really diminished it, and it's not like the sort of it's not anywhere near the chewy ones in the Quality Street or anything like that. Just really, really disappointing. I used to really like it. Really ruined it really by doing that, and. Yeah, very disappointed. Don't like the shape here. Wish it was square still. Don't like this long thin shape. I don't know, it just doesn't work. It's always been a square shape as far as I'm concerned. As I say, when I say square, more like square shape. It's obviously 3D or whatever, but but yeah, just very very disappointing. It needs improvement basically. It needs to be back to how it was. I don't know why they've very, very, very disappointing, that one. Definitely needs improvement. Hope you can see these images, but I had to doctor them myself basically. Some of them are better than others, of course, but quite hard to actually get the individual images for these chocolates without having access to them myself. So yeah, so hopefully you can see them okay. Right, so this one's the country fudge. I used to call it county fudge. I used to think it was always called county fudge, but it's country fudge. I don't know, Cadbury's with their fudges. I mean, people have watched the channel for a long time, or well, I've seen some of my reviews at least anyway, will know that I'm just not enamoured by these fudge flavours at all. One's in Heroes, it's just Cadbury's fudge. It's basically the same as that, really. It's just a really boring chocolate. Doesn't add anything to the selection at all. I mean, I guess it's not quite the same as the Cadbury's fudge, but it's very similar. And that's like a 10. Well, when I was young, it was 10p chocolate bar. It's probably 20p or something now. Really small, thin, basic chocolate bar. It's really basic. I mean, I think there's a slight difference in the flavour. It's not quite the same, even though you could be mistaken for thinking it is. Yeah, really, but I'm sure there's another selection Cadbury's do where they got fudge in. I'm sure there was another one they did. I can't. Maybe I'm just dreaming that one up. But yeah, terrible. Just waste of time. Doesn't add anything to the selection. No one would care if it left. It's just really mundane, really average. Leave one of those that's left to the end, pretty much. You know, get it out. Get something better in. Ones that they've removed over the years have been quite nice. And this one stayed in. You know, I mean, I'll be talking about these again, really. But there's the orange, what's it, chocolate bite? I think it was quite nice, like a chocolate chunk with Rice Krispie pieces in, which was nice. You know, there's a coffee one as well. What's it called? Coffee cream. You know, might call something else, but I used to like that. It used to be when I was younger. They removed it, then it came back in a few years ago, and then they removed it again after a year or something. But you know, coffee's not for everyone, but it's a bit distinct, something a bit different. You only ever get coffee chocolates like that generally in chocolate selections as well. So, you know, just get rid of this fudge. Get it out. Rubbish. Okay, so what else have we got now? We got the golden barrel. So basically, this one, it's hard to see this one here, but it's a big shiny yellow wrapper. But basically, it's runny caramel basically in a chocolate casing, and it's a bit of a staple one. This one, it comes in this like barrel shape, chocolate cask sort of thing, I think you'd say. And it's flat on the one side. It's not a full barrel, you know. It's a bit disappointing that really. But it's always been the case. When I was young, it used to be wrapped in foil. Lots of these used to be wrapped in foil when I was younger. Yeah, you know, most of them really. I think the coffee one when I was younger was, a strawberry dream was, possibly the orange one, not sure. Same colour schemes pretty much. Well, I think actually the colour scheme for the strawberry dream was the same as the signature truffle is now. But anyway, yeah. So you know, the staple has always been in there. It used to be a nice, I'd say, lovely tight foil around it. It was really nice actually, really nice. And we could throw it to the cats. I think, you know, just to get the foil and throw it to them. You know, yeah, for them to play with. Yeah, so obviously scrunch up into a ball. But yeah, it's a very, you know, I think a few years back they did about 3 different runny caramels as well as the chewy one. I think they brought in the basic, what you want, didn't call it this, but it was basically the Cadbury's caramel, a chunk of Cadbury's caramel, which isn't the same as the golden barrel one. And they had another caramel in as well, which is it was like a chocolate caramel. So I'm not sure, we had 3 different caramels in one, but it was just ridiculous. There was too many, and obviously I've got rid of those other 2 now, even though they were quite nice, but there's just too many of them. This one's left in. I think, you know, it's a staple, this one, to be honest with you. I think it's a staple. I think it wouldn't be roses without this one. I think it is one of those where it's very specific to Cadbury's roses. The golden barrel, it's not just, I don't know, orange something. It's, you know, it's just one of those where I think it's one. I think it is a staple for Cadbury's roses. I think you struggle. I think it wouldn't be roses without it. Basically, I don't think. Now here's one though. We got the hazelnut. What's it called? Hazelnut. What's it called? This one. Let's forget this one now. It's just called hazelnut and caramel or something like that. Let's just obviously. Hazelnut and caramel. There we go. Yeah, I always forget. I always tend to go with the purple one because it's basically the same as that one in Quality Street. It's basically the same as the golden barrel, but with a full hazelnut inside. Now for me, you know, I'm not a big whole hazelnut fan. Chopped hazelnuts I can deal with, but basically when I was younger, and probably still wouldn't really. Well, I don't actually do it anymore, but I should. Basically just used to have this and used to just spit out the hazelnut into the wrapper and then bin it because it just didn't add. It doesn't add anything to me. Even now, I'm not a fan of just whole hazelnuts in chocolate. It doesn't do anything for me whatsoever. I don't mind chopped hazelnuts. But if they're flavoured, it's a bit better. But I prefer them to be flavoured. You know, if they're like roasted flavour, or whatever, to be chopped. Not a lot of whole hazelnuts. Just too much. I just don't like the consistency too much, really. Now I know some people might say this is a Rose's staple, whatever, but really I think the staple is it in Quality, the big purple one. I think that's one where you couldn't get rid of it. Even though I don't like it particularly, as because of the hazelnut. You know, I can understand that's one that is a staple for Quality Street, but for Roses I don't think it is. I mean, they've got rid of the Brazilian Darkness, which is, there's no dark chocolates in this, by the way. Brazilian Darkness was basically the same as the caramel one. You know, this one here, but with dark chocolate. I think I might have had chopped Brazil nuts in there. Yeah, I think it did actually, just chopped pieces, but essentially it was a chewy caramel. It's really nice actually, it was nice. I used to like that one, even though, as I say, chopped nut, it was a nice dark chocolate, chewy as well, as I say. And I used to not eat it when I was younger because I had nuts in, but as I grew older and was willing to try that sort of thing, did actually quite enjoy it. But yeah, essentially got rid of that and left with this whole hazelnut one. I don't know. I prefer, as I say, I would prefer. I just think if they can get rid of the Brazilian darkness, which I would say is on a par with this one, I don't think it's a staple. It wouldn't be rose without. I think it just does the job. People liked whole hazelnuts. There you go. You've got your whole hazelnut one. Does the job. Not for me really, but I can understand it. But I think they could get rid of that, and I don't think it would be any less of a product. Some people say, oh, where's it gone, blah blah blah. But Rose Quality Street is the one that's got that as the staple. If you want, that's the one you go to if you want that sort of thing. Not roses. I don't think it's nice to have it in, I guess, but I don't think it's got. Yeah, it does the job. I can understand some people like it, so it's not a get it out. I don't think it needs improvement. It does what it does. Not for me, really, but I don't think it's a staple for roses. So what have we got this one? The hazelnut whirl. This one, yeah, the hazelnut whirl. Well, similar affair. Basically, it's not got caramel in it. It's just milk chocolate. With chopped hazelnuts in it, basically. It's not a dark chocolate. I know this looks dark chocolate. It's basically the same colour as the others. I just couldn't get a decent image of it, basically, and I couldn't lighten it up. Just started to go blue or something. So trust me, it is that same colour as all the others. Yeah, it's the same kind of thing, really. It's got a special shape to it. It's like flat bottom, but like a sort of whirly top to it. You don't even quite make it out there, but it's that dome shape with a swirly pattern on it. It's okay. It's the same. It does the job. Let's not beat about the bush. It does the job. It's a chopped hazelnut one, really. So if they can get rid of Brazilian darkness, which is a better one in my view, this one, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's not a staple. It does the job. If you like chopped hazelnuts, say it's milk chocolate or dark chocolate. Ignore the picture there being a bit dark. There you go. You've got your chopped hazelnut one. There we go. Yeah. So now we've got the orange, tangy orange cream. Yeah, tangy orange cream. Well. I mean, this one. I mean, basically, it's a creamy. It's quite creamy. It's not. It is a cream. It's not sort of like a fondant like the. I don't know what it's called. The equivalent in Quality Street. I can't remember what it's called now. Probably called orange fondant or something. That one to me though, the one in Quality Street tastes like it. In the UK, we have this cough medicine. I've always said this before. People probably remember it from when I last reviewed Cadbury's Rose or Quality Street or both. Basically, you have this children's cough medicine called Calpol. Do an orange flavoured version. It tastes just like the Quality Street orange fondant cream, whatever it's called. Yeah. So I don't know. This one. I mean, that one I'm not a big fan of at all. But this one, I do like this one. It's a nice different chocolate. It stands out. It's I think it's very. I wouldn't say unique to or distinct to Cadbury's Roses, but it's very much one that you go to. It's a nice one to have. It looks nice. It's different than the others. I think it wouldn't be Roses without it. I really do. I think it's one of those. It's a staple. Needs to be there just to distinguish the other chocolates. It's just got a different flavour. As I say, it's orange. It really stands out than the others. It's nice to sort of have, but it's not the best one in it. I wouldn't describe it as a great chocolate at all. It's quite maybe a bit sickly. You won't want loads of them, but it's nice to have it in there. So I think it wouldn't be Roses without that one. But on the other end of the scale, this signature truffle. This is a new. I think 2013, according to Wikipedia, this came in, and the ones that this has kept out and stayed in. Is unbelievable. I mean, I say they got the chocolate bite, which was that nice sort of same shape as the fudge, really, or the caramel one. Sort of solid chocolate lump, but with bits of Rice Krispies. It sounds a bit boring, but it was really nice. Different textures. Not really anything like that in the set. Maybe you could say the chopped hazelnut whirl one, maybe. But for me, the chocolate bite is the equivalent of it without nuts in. Really nice one. Yeah, and then you got the coffee cream one. I know a lot of people don't like coffee, whatever, but it's a distinct flavour. You only get in selections. It was a classic as far as I was concerned because it used to be in Roses when I was younger. That's gone. Even the Cadbury's caramel one that was disappeared, and the other caramel that they had in there, what it was. I think it was a praline actually. Sort of like a caramel. Is it like an almond caramel? I can't remember now. I'm not too sure. Maybe I've got it on here. See if I can. Is it on here? I could be forgetting. I could be wrong with this one, by the way, as well. Caramel velvet. That was it. Caramel velvet. There was another one. It was just another. Yeah. I'm just looking at Wikipedia inside. Yeah. So there was another one. So there's this caramel velvet. There was the regular caramel. I think. I'm just checking now. I'm not got them confused, but I'm sure that was. I'm sure that caramel velvet was one, and there was the two other caramels. But I could be wrong. I could be mixing them up there. But I'm sure there was 3 caramels in there at once. I could be wrong on that one, but there was at least 2 anyway. But the point is, there was that other caramel one. I'm sure there was the Cadbury's caramel and caramel velvet and the golden barrel. But I could be wrong on that. Let me know if you remember either way. But I'm sure there was 3. Just seeing on here now. Yeah, I can't see. Yeah, I can't see the other. Not sure. Not sure. I could be wrong on that one, but either way, you get the gist of it. There's a better one. That was just better than that one. I mean, but the thing is, it's just a truffle as well. You know, it's a signature truffle, and it's just a it's truffle noisette, praline, whatever. They're all the same thing. They're all that sort of in every selection. They're all a bit boring now. I quite like when they've got rid of this, but in Celebration used to be a galaxy truffle, and that was really nice. It wasn't the same as the ones they've released now. It was like a sort of light, fluffy cream in it. They're actually quite nice and a distinct one, a bit like the Maltesers ones. They were very, they've released loads of that Maltese one has been taken out of that and really, well, still in there, but taken out and released everywhere else as different products now. Whereas the Galaxy Truffle just disappeared, and it was one of the nicest ones in it. It was distinct because that selection was so a bit mundane with just things like Mars bars and stuff in it that you can get elsewhere anyway. I'd say just this one here, you can get it's in all chocolates now. It's such a lazy chocolate really now. I used to think it was quite nice truffle things when I was younger, but it's so lazy. I'm saying there's noisette, praline, truffles in every single selection. They're so boring and mundane. Some of them I've got 10 of them in. Well, I'm exaggerating there, but if you've seen my live reviews lately, you've seen that some of them have sort of tons of different truffles in and things. They're so boring and they've come different names and you dress them up differently. They're still the same thing. Get it out. Just get out. Get one of the others back in or something more interesting. Just boring, really boring. It doesn't taste that great either. I mean, there's a brownie one. Did they have a brownie one in as well a few years back? I'm looking at Wikipedia to see for this, but I don't think it's quite. I don't think it's very. I don't think it's very. I don't think it's got. It's not got all the. I don't think it doesn't have the brownie one that was in a few years. I mean, that was one as well. I'm sure they had a brownie one in a couple of about half a year ago, I think. Yeah, it's not very. What's the word? I can't think of what the word is now. It doesn't have the. It's not very. Doesn't have everything in it. I can't remember what the word is now. It begins with C. It's not very. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, you'll probably know. I'll probably put a caption if I remember what it is, but feel free to let me know in the comments. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, so there we are. So it's just yeah, it's annoying me that word. I can't remember what it is, but yeah. But anyway, yes, there we go. It's just get it out, get rid of it, get some of the others. And I'll say Wikipedia's not. It's not got all the information. I think about all the other chocolates. I think it's not been updated properly. But either way, I'm sure there's a brownie one in there. But either that was a bad one, or put a brownie one in if there wasn't. I mean, that would be better, wouldn't it? Just anything, something interesting. But I'll say some of the old ones. Get the coffee. Why is it there? Just get rid of it, honestly. Anyway, could go off on a tangent there, but there we go. Right, so yeah, now I've got the Strawberry Dream. Well, I mean, basically, there's no point going into too much detail. It's pretty much the same as the orange cream. It's that staple one. It's not. I mean, it's not the same, of course. It's the same. Well, it is the same insofar as it's the same sort of thing, but it's got a strawberry cream in the middle, sort of bubblegum pink colour, really. I think I'm not sure if the orange one. I think it's just white. It might be an orange colour actually. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's the same difference. It's just strawberry flavoured rather than orange flavoured. Gives a nice change from all the others. It's just a nice different flavour as well. Quite sweet. You probably want too many of them, but it's definitely wouldn't be rose without it. Has to be there. I think. I don't think you can get rid of that one. It's quite a distinct, unique. Well, distinct, and it's relatively unique to roses. It's not one of those. Yeah, I think it's. It wouldn't be rose without it. I think. I definitely think that. So there we go. Yeah. So that's one. I don't know. Apparently, I was just reading up on Wiki. I was trying to find out which chocolates were in roses now, because of course it changed all the time, or it has changed quite frequently. I was thinking, I need to make sure I'm up to date with it and stuff. And apparently I was looking for the Dairy Milk one. It wasn't on the menu on some of them. I was finding that's a bit strange. Apparently last year or some point. In 2019, 2020 or something, it was removed, and I thought I couldn't believe that. I thought I don't remember that, and apparently it's come back in the UK. I don't know. I think in Ireland it's still not there. But yeah, very strange. I was very surprised by that. I'd never noticed it. No one ever mentioned it, and I don't know. Maybe it's a sign of the fact that it's quite. I don't know. People are expecting the other ones. Maybe I said the Golden Barrel and the Strawberry Dream and Cadbury and the Orange Cream to be in there. But yeah, yeah, very odd one. But to be honest with you, I think it needs to be in there. I think it does need to be in there. And I think it's really nice as well. And you know what, I'm going to just go out straight away with the controversy. Great chocolate. Great chocolate. Now, I know you're probably screaming at the screen already, but it is, I think, it's just, I just think Cadbury's dairy milk in the UK at least, and I've tried I think I've tried the Australian version, not directly, but as, there's sort of like, it's got dairy milk chocolate in another bar, like something with dairy milk, made out of dairy milk or whatever. It's quite nice in Australia, I think, but in the UK it's just so lovely and velvety, so thick. It's got a lovely bite to it. Having one of these chunks is just, I know it's refreshing. It's a bit like a palate cleanser inside the selection, and it really works really well because you're having all these quite strong flavours, especially if you're having those orange cream or strawberry dream, some quite strong flavours, and sometimes you just don't want to go into something that's a bit much. Especially depending on the iteration of roses, there are some where there's just just lots of sweet flavours, and they are quite sweet anyway. Nice to just go into this one, have a bit of a bite of just something just relatively normal but tasty. I say it's a lovely velvety chocolate. It's a lovely bite to it as well when you have this big chunk of it. Just acts as a nice palate cleanser, but a tasty one, a really nice one. And I think it is a great chocolate. I don't think it needs to be in roses as such, by the fact that it wouldn't be roses without it. But I think it needs to be in there as the fact it's just a good transitional chocolate between all the other types. And I just think it's really nice. I don't think it needs to be changed either. I mean, over the years it's changed as such. I mean, when I was younger, it used to be like a little tab. It was like very thin sort of tab. It came in like a wrapper with, I think, foil underneath it. It used to be Bourneville was in the same manner, but Bourneville the dark chocolate. I say there's no dark chocolates in there, which is something else that could be brought in instead. Just bring in a Bourneville chunk or something. I don't know. Or Brazilian darkness. Bring that back in. Anything. But make it properly chewy, not like like it used to be. And improve the caramel while you're at it to make it the same. But yeah, it used to be like a little tab, and you could, it was really nice, just a little chunk of it. It was very small though, it wasn't very thick. But you could double it up with the Bourneville, that was just quite nice, eating them both at once, and I thought it was just like half and half. Very nice way to do that, actually, quite enjoyed doing that. So I wasn't a particularly mad fan of Bourneville at the time, but being young, it's nice to have it in that way. Yeah, lovely 80s wrapper as well, it was very distinct, and I used to enjoy that, and I think that'd be nice to bring it back. But either way, anyway, as I say, it's always been in there in some way, some shape or form, and that's just a chunk of the actual chocolate rather than a sort of bespoke for the selection version of it, which is what it used to be. I just think it's, as I say, great transitional chocolate between the others. Lovely sort of snap to it, a bite to it, crunch to it as you bite into it. I don't know if crunch is the right word, but hopefully you get what I'm talking about. Really nice. I'd say a great chocolate to have in just as a transition from one to the other, just to avoid having too many sweet things at once. Even though it's quite it's a sweet, you know what I mean. Very nice, very nice. And there's usually quite a few of them in the selection as well, because it's like the distribution things. I'll give you like, I don't know, 2 golden barrels and 5 something else. Well, the 5 something else is often the dairy milk. So there are always plenty of them in there as well. But as a distribution, is another problem, I guess. We won't talk about that now. My views on that, I'm sure. But there we go. Yeah. So a great chocolate. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That tier list. Thanks again, Alan, for your suggestion on that one. Hope you enjoyed that as well. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Everyone, leave a comment off here. Let me know if I've got it wrong or if you agree with me, or things like this. And what else you'd like to see in the future. I think probably definitely ones they should bring back into this, and maybe into roses, and also a Quality Street equivalent on this one, and ones to bring back is probably one I've considered doing. Could do all sorts really. Let me know what you think. I'd say a bit difficult one. I think there's obviously some things where one's great chocolates and wouldn't be rose without it, which is better really. But I think I wouldn't say the orange cream and strawberry dream are great chocolates, but I wouldn't want them removing from roses. Whereas as I say, the dairy milk perhaps could be removed, but I think it's a really nice chocolate, and I don't think it harms the selection by it being in there. And it does provide a good sort of transitional chocolate, but it's not a staple of the product. So, although you could argue maybe it is, but yeah. Anyway, well, let me know what you think. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter. You know the drill by now, I'm sure. But check out the member program as well. Great way to support the channel, get exclusive content, things like this. Also check out Discord server as well. Great way to get in touch and just be part of the community. So check that out. Links all in the description, I'm sure. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye for now. See you later.